Academy of Art University's K-Art News is coming up next. The anti-germ jacket that could help you stay healthy.
A big win for those controversial rideshare programs that are competing with taxis.
The new social networking app that's anonymous and is causing heartache.
And the newly found spider that's as big as a puppy. All that and more coming up on K-Art News next.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here at the Academy of Art University's K-Art News. I'm Patrick Haley.
And I'm Summer Moore. Here's what we're working on for this evening. Earth is set to break a new record for the hottest year on record. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration announced that our globe averages the temperature of 60 degrees Fahrenheit for the year of 2014. The month of September was the hottest, and it has been for the past 135 years. Meteorologists are claiming that the record probably won't last, as it could be broken by next year, and with that comes heat waves and droughts.
The Centers for Disease Control has released a new Ebola protocol. Nurses and doctors are required to wear full-body protective suits exposing no skin. Dr. Anthony Fauci said people caring for Ebola patients in Texas were vulnerable because their skin was exposed. A buddy system has also been incorporated, having workers check each other as they go in and out. Nigeria has officially been declared Ebola-free as of this past Monday. Despite killing more than 4,500 people in West African countries, Nigeria has shown that Ebola is containable. Officials said that African country pulled together and used the all-hands-on-deck approach to contain the disease.
Worries of Ebola infection have ended for dozens who came off the Ebola watch list in the U.S. on Monday. Thomas Eric Duncan, who died of the virus in Dallas, came in contact with over 100 people. Of those 100, 43 were cleared after twice daily monitorings over a 21-day period. The Ebola virus has set a record as the worst outbreak, killing over 4,500 in Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea. And as if the threat of Ebola wasn't enough, flu season is in full swing. A popular clothing store company here in San Francisco is helping getting a head start on fashionable outerwear that protects us from the flu. I wanted to take a deeper look into this.
With flu season among us, a clothing company here in San Francisco is trying to help protect us from the spread of germs. Located in the Mission District, Beta Brands has designed an antimicrobial fabric jacket they're calling the Germinator. A few key features of the Germinator is that it comes with a collar that will protect you from sneezes, along with antimicrobial cuffs. And although the jacket is for pre-sale only, we wanted to find out what people's thoughts were on the antimicrobial coat that retails for $225.
To me, it's the concept is a little ridiculous because you can take BART, you can take the Mu, you can take whatever you want, but in the end, you can go home, take a shower, and dust everything off. The fact that it's antimicrobial definitely could help, but for the price that it's at is ridiculous.
I caught up with 29-year-old Molly Acree, who's a grad student studying public health here at UC Berkeley. She had these helpful tips for those of us who can't afford a $225 Germinator jacket.
Honestly, the best way to stay healthy throughout the flu season, everyone's always going to tell you to get a flu shot. That's, if you're worried about getting the flu consistently throughout the year, get a flu shot. But, practical things you can do is wash your hands every time you go to the bathroom. Wash your hands just when you feel like it. Wash your hands after you get on and off the bus or public transportation. Simple things like that just eliminate the path of germs to really feed. And here there's so many people. If people are washing their hands and eliminating those germ paths, then it won't spread as rapidly as it normally will throughout the season.
In San Francisco, I'm Summer Moore with Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
There is no current release date for the Germinator jacket.
A new problem concerning an Uber driver. Last Saturday night, an Uber driver picked up a middle-aged woman. The woman gave him cross streets and not a direct address, which infuriated the driver. He reportedly kicked the lady out of the car with force. She claims she tried to take a picture of the driver as he grabbed her out of the car, but he grabbed her phone and threw it down on the street. The driver drove off, and the woman was unable to flag an officer down. Uber has suspended the driver and has refunded the woman her money. The incident is still being investigated. As the private taxi companies like Uber and Lyft continues to gain popularity, SFO Airport has permitted them to wait and pick up passengers at the airport. For months, these companies were not allowed in the airport. But with recent demand and customer popularity, SFO has permitted these companies to enter. This is on trial basis only. Regular taxi drivers were already frustrated with these companies and now are demanding answers from the Airport Commission as to the change in policy. The first Uber attack involved 35-year-old Roberto Chicas, who was allegedly attacked by an Uber driver with a hammer. These recent attacks call the company's background policy into question. We go to DeAndre Gallipo for the story.
San Francisco is known for many forms of transportation, including Lyft, Uber, and taxis.
Lyft and Uber is pretty good. It's cheaper than the regular taxi that you can catch. Also, you get like a profile of who's picking you up, and basically you can see what type of driver they are just by looking at the reviews that they get. So I think it's good, Uber and Lyft.
A lot of times my house, the taxis aren't there, and they take forever to get there, and Uber can get to my house. Now I might take the taxi back home because at the bar or wherever you go, there's always usually a lot of taxis. So
I've never tried the Ubers or Lyfts, but we only use the taxis when it's when we're coming out at night and to go home safely.
Recently, an Uber driver allegedly attacked a passenger, leaving him in critical condition. The question today is Uber really safe?
I don't think it's worse for Uber than it is for taxi because we've actually had some bad experiences with taxi too. One time we took a taxi home and the guy was just very verbally, I guess you would say, abusive.
Despite the violence incidents, many people still have decided to support Uber.
One of the good things about Uber and Lyft is like they can keep track of who you are. And vice versa. So, I feel safer in an Uber or a Lyft vehicle over a taxi cab.
From San Francisco, I'm DeAndre Gallipo for the Academy of Arts, K-Art News.
Uber continues to express that safety is its #1 priority. The drivers in both instances have been suspended, and Uber is willing to assist with any investigations regarding the cases.
Well, San Francisco voters have an opportunity to vote on a measure that will improve public transportation and improve the roads. Proposition A promises to make improvements to increase the speed which buses, bikes, and pedestrians travel, but also will slow down cars. If passed, taxpayers will pay $500 million. $30 million will be used to fix transit escalators. Mayor Ed Lee calls this part of a 10-year plan to upgrade Muni. SFO has gained some heavy popularity due to the technology boom. Major airlines from all around the world are trying in on the action and expanding their services. Some of the latest changes include United's new route from SFO to Tokyo's Haneda Airport starting next week. In addition, Turkish Airlines will be adding non-stop flights to Istanbul. More expansion plans to come.
California's unemployment rate dipped to 7.3% this past September. State officials reported San Mateo and Marin counties had the lowest unemployment rates in the Bay Area. Marin's unemployed made up over 3% of its workforce, and San Francisco had a jobless rate of over 4%. The jobless rates for the United States was down from last year, making it just under 6%. Students have a lot on their plates, from grades to bullying, but now another issue arises: homelessness. In San Francisco alone, there are more than 2,000 kids who are homeless, and that number is on the rise. According to the U.S. Department of Education, there are over 1 million homeless students enrolled in K-12 schools. In San Francisco's public schools, the homeless student toll has tripled over the past 10 years.
Each year, an estimated 6,000 youths become homeless in San Francisco. Our Vanessa Garcia has more.
Homelessness among the youth has become a big issue in the United States. It is estimated that each year, nearly 2 million youth are homeless. The average age of the youth are 14. Dina Wilderson at Larkin Street Youth Services explains the reason why youth become homeless.
Youth leave home because it's just not a good home environment for them. Other youth have aged out of various systems, so either they were in the foster care system and they left and they didn't have any place to go and they didn't have a way to support themselves. Some of them come out of the juvenile justice system and land on the streets. And then there's a large group, and a lot of this group sort of increased during the recession.
Many states have adopted policies to fight youth homelessness. For 30 years, the Larkin Street Youth Services in San Francisco has made it their mission to get youth off the streets by providing programs that can help them, like health services, housing, and education, and employment skills.
I had to go home for Thanksgiving dinner, and I never wanted to go home again. So I bought a plane ticket and moved to California, and knew that there was a better social services in the city, in San Francisco in particular, and in California overall, for education and just like help. So I came here, became homeless, and within 4 months I got housing.
Encountering obstacles to their education, 27,000 of homeless youth in California find it easy to drop out.
California has the largest population of homeless students in the country, and they attend all grade levels.
After high school, Larkin Street helps approximately 100 youth enroll into higher education.
Yeah, I'm at CCSF right now, going to school.
How many units do you
I'm in 16 units, and I'm a biochemistry major.
Today, the Larkin Street Drop-In Center has over 14 locations with 25 youth programs delivered. In San Francisco, I'm Vanessa Garcia for Academy of Art University, KR News.
You can check out their website at www.larkinstreetyouth.org.
10 people are spending thousands of dollars competing for 4 seats on a board that was stripped of power more than a year ago, the City College of San Francisco Board of Trustees. Current trustee John Rizzo stated that things are looking up for the governance and financial controls of the college to meet accreditation standards and be back up and running. The trial to bring the board back begins October 27th. College has become a big benefit for Starbucks employees, and not one that a lot of people know about. I went out to find more out the link between the business and college education. Starbucks have in a sense taken over the coffee world with a little over 23,000 stores in 65 different countries and a $13 billion annual revenue. Some would only imagine what to do with that much money, but Starbucks put imagination second to their employees. Not only does Starbucks offer a great cup of coffee, but it offers equal opportunity for employees. Starbucks partnered up with Arizona State University to create the College Achievement Plan, sending the employees to college to earn a bachelor's degree with up to 40 undergraduate degree programs.
So I work at Starbucks, and they have a scholarship program out of Arizona State University. And basically, if you're a junior or senior, they pay for you to finish your degree, and you can major in pretty much anything that you want. I'm choosing psychology because I want to become a counselor, and I signed up for 6 classes in the spring for right now. But other than that, if you're a freshman or sophomore, they also give you like scholarship, but just not full tuition. I think they pay for about half of it. And but it's a really good program to get started into, and you're also working and making money, but also getting your education.
Starbucks believes it's giving its employees an opportunity to live the American dream. College tuition has increased by 80% in the last 10 years, making it very hard to afford. Starbucks decided to be proactive and consider their employees partners, and that they needed to take care of their partners.
I think it's really great that Starbucks is giving students the opportunity to go to school who can't afford it, and especially for those who want to extend their career or join a career path.
I'm Patrick Haley with the Academy of Art University's KR News. If you're looking for a job and an education, apply at your local Starbucks.
Well, for those of you who love to shop at Costco but don't like to leave their home, there is some good news. It's the debut of an online store named Box, which sends consumers product in bulk without traditional membership fees. It's using new technology to solve old distribution challenges. The company is based out of New York City and wants to gain ground in Silicon Valley to become a go-to place for business-savvy startups. From one giant to another, McDonald's has had one of the worst sales dips since 2003, according to Bloomberg. Between slow demand in the U.S. and health scares over a Chinese meat supplier, some store sales were down in August more than 3% in the U.S. It's expected that the chain will see another % drop by the end of the month. Countering those efforts have been raising the price on the items on the dollar menu. These items alone are responsible for 13 to 15% in sales.
Facebook COO Sheryl Sandberg just leaned into the close of the sale of her 7-bedroom, 8.5-bath mansion in Atherton for $9.25 million, just over $1 million shy of its original asking price of $10.5 million. The house was listed in September 2013, and in March 2014, the price was dropped to $9.8 million. It's just sold last month after being on on the market for a year. We all know the motto, safety first, and now Facebook has created a new tool called Safety Check. It's activated if you are around a natural disaster. Determining where your location is by looking at your profile, you will receive a Facebook notification asking if you are safe. If so, you can select I'm safe, and a notification of your safety will be on your newsfeed. Facebook created the tool in hopes it will give people the comfort in knowing their loved ones are safe. The iPhone is already breaking sales records. Apple and their revenue jumped 12% to $42.1 billion from last year. Profits grew to $8.5 billion compared to $7.5 billion last year. Apple stated that they sold 39 million iPhones this year, which exceeded the expectations of analysts. And that's not all. Apple is expecting to sell 60 million new iPhones later this year.
There is a new social media trend on college campuses, but is it causing more harm than good? Here is Kiyomi Mitsuda with more.
College students are now using a new app on campus. It is called Yik Yak. Yik Yak is a social media app that anyone could have an account and post anything within a character limit. But what makes this app so unique is that the posts are anonymous and anyone can see the post within a 10-mile radius. The app was originally used to let people on campus know what is going on, from events to a pop quiz in class.
Colleges in Chicago, New Mexico, and Vermont are now banning the app on their campuses due to students cyberbullying other students. I've talked to the campus security at Academy of Art University for her professional opinion.
It's sad. It's unfortunate that these tools and the advancement of technology and apps, and as far as Yik Yak is concerned, gives the users or people another avenue to continue to bully.
Yik Yak has 6 simple rules stating you do not bully or specifically target other yackers, zero tolerance policy on posting people's phone numbers, don't clutter people's feeds with useless or offensive yaks, and if you continue to be downvoted or reported, you will be suspended.
And you can't stop people from using it. I would say there would be, or would have to be some type of campaign against the misuse of it, but a reinforcement of the positive uses of this form of communication.
Yik Yak has now restricted users to use the app when in certain locations that have requested to have the app banned from their area. Whether to keep the app around or ban it completely is still up for debate. In San Francisco, I'm Kiyomi Mitsuda for KART News.
According to StopBullying.org, schools should have a policy that does not allow bullying and that lays out the consequences at school.
Now we go to Jarrett Quidez, who is with a motion picture television student here at the Academy of Art. She's been working on a short film that the MPT department is producing.
Hey everyone, I'm here with Angelica Vieira, and she is a motion picture television student here at the Academy. Welcome, Angelica. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I know before you were a graphic design major, and then I know recently you switched to motion picture television. Why did you do that?
Well, because you have to be really dedicated in graphic design. Don't get me wrong, it's a great program, but I hated it, and I wasn't dedicated. And as a result, I ended up failing 2 of my classes, and that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Had I passed, I would have kept going with graphic design, and I would have hated it. But because I basically wasted those credits anyway, it gave me that extra push to switch and do what I wanted to do.
Yeah, but in graphic design, what did you want to do? Was it related to like MPT though, some way?
It was I was going to do journalism. I had this idea of if I did graphic design, I could learn the basic, learn how to, make not the magazine, but make the layout of the newspaper, because honestly, you don't need to go to school to be a journalist. Learn the basics of it, which I did in high school, and you're good. So I did graphic design for it.
Well, now that you're at MPT, I know that you are, working on an actual short film, project with the art director of the MPT department, right?
Well, I think she's an art directing major.
Oh, okay.
The main producer for this short film is called Arnie. Her name is Devin.
Cool.
I'm just a producing assistant, but it was really good getting hands-on experience being on location. You know, this film had an actual budget, and it was just so great to
get that experience.
Get that experience and just be a part of something like that. It gave me like the realization that yes, this is what I want to do with my life, and it could happen. Yeah.
So how did you get, to this experience?
I met with the head of my department, and he said I sounded like a producer. So he introduced me to this guy named Current Eagle, and he actually runs the Film Production A class. And he introduced me to this girl named Victoria, who was working on this film called Arnie. And Victoria is the one that introduced me to Devin, who is the producer of Arnie.
Yeah. Oh wow! So have you gone to real cool locations?
We went to I think it's called Jamba's Pub, and that's the only location we've shot so far. But it was a really cool pub.
Well, I hope to see your guys' short film soon. Thank you again for being here today. Back to you.
Thanks, Jarek. Up next with more about entertainment news is our own Zachary Pereira.
Thank you, Patrick. It seems that fall is getting off to a big start. The bells are ringing, and here comes the stork for the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Yes, the due date of their new child is due to come in April. It could be an Aries child. It does not seem that a name has been decided, but the timer has started, and the world will be happy to wait with them. Yet when doors open, others close. And this past week, beloved fashion designer Oscar de la Renta has died at age 82 from causes that are unclear. All we know is that he was diagnosed with cancer in 2006. He stated he was feeling completely better last year, as if the cancer had disappeared, yet doctors believe that the cancer is at fault. But we still know very little of his death. This is a man who has dressed every first lady since Jacqueline Kennedy and has spent half a decade making clothes that make women feel beautiful. De la Renta said once in New York's Fashion Talks, "The only realities in life are that you are born and that you die." He will be greatly missed. On a lighter note, Guillermo del Toro has produced a grade A animated film. The Book of Life is getting fantastic reviews and box office hits all around the world. The film tells the story of Manolo, a hero and, like all of us, a dreamer, who sets off in mythical lands to fight for his true love and defend his family. The movie has a very themed setting of the Day of the Dead, a Mexican holiday celebrated widely. And given the title, you know you're in for a hard lesson. Directed by Jorge Gutierrez and produced by Guillermo del Toro, this children's film has a lot to teach us all. In the world of music, which constantly evolves, the XX emerged with their new album, Coexist. The album has brought them from England to the US, Japan, and all over. The album portrays more electronic, instrumental songs that have little lyrics. The album features some hit songs like Missing, Fiction, and Angels. There have been iTunes purchases all over the world for this new album. Their music is said to be original and well done. Coexist is their third album, and the XX are currently working on an unnamed fourth, releasing on an undecided due date. And now for the countdown of box office hits. At number 5, we have The Best of Me, directed by Michael Hoffman. At number 4, Alexander and the Terrible No Good Very Bad Day, directed by Miguel Arteta. At 3, we have The Book of Life, directed by Jorge Gutierrez. At 2, it's Gone Girl. And at number 1, we have Fury. That is all the time we have for your entertainment. Join us next week. Back to you, Summer.
Thank you, Zach. Making waves in the news is a Jaws scene come true. A woman withstood a shark attack earlier this week 30 miles off the coast of Santa Barbara. The woman was able to paddle to safety after the shark knocked her out of her canoe and into the water. She described the shark as a bluish-gray color and about 6 feet in length. But don't worry, shark attacks are pretty rare on the Pacific coast, with only 5 fatalities since 2001. In more good news, in Hawaii, a man was able to fend off a shark attack. He told Maui News that he and his 2 sons were surfing when a 12 to 14-foot tiger shark appeared. He defended himself and his family by hitting the shark with his surfboard and then proceeding to kick and punch it before swimming to safety. Thankfully, the only thing that was injured was his surfboard, which suffered a 14-inch bite mark near the tail.
If you don't have arachnophobia, you will now. A research was recently started by what the thought it was a small animal in the Amazon forest. It turned out to be a spider. The South American Goliath bird eater spider is the size of a small puppy. This Amazonian spider can weigh up to 6 ounces, but do not be fooled by the name of the spider. It doesn't actually eat birds. It hunts rats, worms, and other small animals. The Goliath bites down with its 2-inch fangs that will not kill you, but it will leave you sick for a couple days. With fall upon us, the produce we're seeing in the local farmers market is changing as quickly as the seasons do. KART News reporter Alexa Peters takes one last look at the bounties of summer.
Gather around in the Presidio area at the Clement Street Farmers Market every Sunday from 9 a.m. to about 4 p.m. to pick up your freshly grown, local, organic produce and bring the whole family because it's a good old jolly old time with face painting and handmade music. Pick your date for the night up some freshly grown flowers or start pumpkin carvings early with miniature pumpkins, freshly brewed green tea in multiple flavors, and freshly hatched eggs, both brown and white.
I come to the farmers market quite a bit. I eat very organic, so they have a lot of options for me here. I try to come almost every other weekend since they are here every weekend. They have great deals, and they usually are able to negotiate with you on prices, so that's always nice. Their food's great as well.
Here at the Clement Farmers Market, there's hundreds of people that come through every day to buy fresh produce and organic produce, and then you have your businesses that come here every Sunday to sell their wonderful produce and the stuff that they make by hand.
To sell more specialized products like myself, I sell olives and olive oil. All of our olives are sea salt water cured, so we don't use lye or other chemicals. They're raw organic food.
We have produce only, veggies, no fruit. We come every Sunday from Woodland. We are here from 7 in the morning until about 3 p.m. And we love it here. Everyone's really nice. We have our base customers and lots of new people that come all the time. We carry lots of peppers. It's kind of what we're known for. So, yeah, people love our peppers.
Just ready flavored honey, and if you're down with people watching, the Clement Street Farmers Market is the place to be on Sunday morning. In San Francisco, I'm Alexa Peters with Academy of Art University's KART News.
And that's it for this edition of Academy of Art University's KART News. For everyone here, thanks for watching. I'm Patrick Haley.
And I'm Summer Moore. Have a great evening and enjoy your weekend. And go Giants!